So we meet again on this week's edition of Shenanigans that I have receipts for and good examples of other things that, happen to you when, the shift has happened. Let's imagine that, like, this is just a leftover residue, and let's hope that everything else, like, goes falling into place, right? So, mind you, here in France, after I left Barcelona around August, I put in documents with the Melody to get a social security number so that I can go to the doctor here, right? I even like went assisted with someone who spoke French and everything like this, had all of the documentation that they asked for, etc., 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 right? Lo and behold, around September, they did send me like that they needed this and they needed that, right? I prepared the documents and I did a rendezvous from what I remember for both offices, I think like in this area where I live. Mind you, the day that I went and I dropped off both documents at both places, handing it directly into someone's hand, not leaving it like how they tell you to leave it in the hallway and all that. Neither one of those documents were counted for. They just kind of like disappeared, right? Then I received I called, right? And then they told me like, yeah, well, we sent another letter, whatever, whatever, which I never received at my building, of course. So you already know the story with my building with the demons and all that. But anyways, so I didn't receive it. So then I quickly went, I made sure I did a rendezvous and I took all the documentation. I said like, I didn't get that letter, but I'm here and I'm bringing all of this and that, right? Fine. So now I'm waiting. So I already did like a rendezvous to make sure that I keep track on it, because since I can't like, guarantee that I'm gonna actually get the physical mail, I make sure that like, I go checking. So all of a sudden now that first time that I went, okay, that request or that like whatever you want to call it, that first attempt at trying to get the social security number is like expired all of a sudden, which makes me think like, so then why, when I went the second time and I gave that information, didn't you tell me that and we do it then? I don't know, whatever. So now it's like I had to redo it again, and now I have to wait another month. Mind you, this is from August. I have from August till now, we are in December, just trying to get the social security number so that I can go to the doctor, one. And like, it also is linked up with like a system here in France called the CAF. So all of these kind of things that like, if you don't get this number, you can't do this, you can't do that. All of this is like, shenanigans. But anyways, so this time, right? Because I keep telling the lady like, yeah, I gave in those documents in September. One of the people in the office took it from my hand and they took it. But in all fairness, it wasn't her. So I don't know which little parasitic came out of the office to take it and probably like throw it out or whatever it is that they're doing, right? So this time I make sure that like now you know that she's the one that's supposed to be the one that's, the head honcho for that office, that it has to be her. So whatever. Let's see how many more months. Now we have to wait for another month into January. But these are just examples of things that I've had to deal with like all these months. Hopefully, like I said, everyone's talking about also how this shift has happened. I do feel like I've also felt it quite a bit as well. But, th- these are all of the shenanigans. And like I said, a lot of the stuff that's been happening, besides the little parasitic on the street, have been with entire offices and this and it, like matrix, you know, how I don't know what you even want to call them, but matrix strongholds, right? All of these little government offices and all that. That's kind of like where a lot of the shenanigans take place, where they lose this document, they don't know where this is. Oh, there's a miscommunication. Oh, it's been like a lot of stuff like that. Too many, okay? Too many, which makes it very obvious that it's like calculated. So anyways, and then like I said, you guys have already seen I do a lot of these videos. I did the one about the laptop. I did the one about how like weird stuff with the bank. It's nonstop, nonstop. And then on top of that, like I've done a couple of videos where I've even told you, like I double make sure that like when I do a video that like my face and everything looks like neat and everything like that. And like I'll still like see something like weird like dangling or like something on your nose. Like that is not, ladies and gentlemen, I check my face before I do the videos, and I really feel like that's done a lot of times so that like if I were a vain person, I would be like, no, I'm not going to publish that video. No, to hell with it. I will publish the video because what I'm saying is 10 times more important. So I really hope if you ever watch my videos, you focus on exactly what I'm talking about and not so much on the appearance factor, because I will publish the video, especially if like I'm talking about something like very serious. I think that's more important than whatever I look like. So, anyways, that's all that has been happening right now. And like I've told you in other videos, like a lot of stuff has been happening with the owner. I'm here waiting to get like a bailiff and all of this. I'm in the process, and hopefully everything will just go in the direction that I'd like it to go. Because again, like they said, we've shifted. Hopefully, the energy is changing and it's in our favor, and now let's see how everything plays out. But besides that, I'm gonna actually have a year since I've left Barcelona in another week or two. So it's been really interesting in me reflecting and remembering a lot of the things that were happening like right before I was leaving, a lot of the heavy, like weird targeting stuff that was happening, all the shenanigans, all of these kind of things. Like I said, I'm gonna be mentioning it in my next book. Um, because like I said, like if I don't publish it, at least as a fiction, people would never believe me. But yes, it is true. And you can see it. I try my best to be upfront, to, show you screenshots of things that happen as they go coming in. People can believe whatever they want, but I guarantee you that if you know Sabrina Wallace and all this stuff, like, I mean, that's the whole idea of this little simulation, is that that's kind of how it functions. Everything is done. There's a lot of electronic warfare. They can manipulate a lot more than they make you think. And it would make sense, obviously, because it's a simulation. It's just that, they're trying to manipulate all the little Sims in the simulation who sometimes don't even want to be, part of their little, I guess, 2.0 human, etc., etc. So, anyways, that's all I just wanted to rant about today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you next time.